Yo, 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 you already know what it is. You already know what to do, what's happening. You are now tuned into the Broken Mute Button Network. As always, you are now watching Rumble Ready Fight Podcast, episode 13. Talk to him, Kiki. This your boy Gotti.
This Kiki Harlem in the building all day, every day. Tonight it's gonna be a special night. We're talking about these dream matchups, and on top of talking about the dream matchups, we're gonna use ChatGPT, ladies and gentlemen, just to see what they come up with. This is a spot, Rumble Ready Boxing is where opinions are respected and facts are respected as well. And I hope you enjoy the show tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Definitely, and we definitely find with you guys disagreeing with us. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all, I do jump out of the window in the comments without even watching the actual full show. Some of y'all should watch the full show and realize that I'm not crazy as Kiki.
Oh my God.
All right, with that being said, we're going to get straight to the first match, Kiki, man. We're going to do motherfucking damn Mike Tyson versus David Tua. What you think, man? Heavyweight.
Oh, Mike Tyson versus David Tua?
Yes, Mike Tyson versus David Tua.
Oh, my God.
That's a tough one right there. Raw power.
That's tough, bro. That's a tough bout.
So,
my gosh.
So,
both have power.
Yeah, raw power.
Both have power, sure. And David Tua, tough Samoan. He's strong, bro.
That's a fact.
He's very, very strong. One of his highlight knockouts is when he knocked out Ruiz.
Yeah, that was nasty.
Man. That was nasty, man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So, how I think it would happen, because obviously we know one of them's been knocked out and the other hasn't. You know what I'm saying? David Tua has never been knocked out. You know what I'm saying? He's lost fights. So right now, to me, I think he has the better chin. Now, Mike Tyson is a different animal, and he's faster than David Tua. The tail of the tape, they're both 5'10". Mike Tyson has a little bit of inch advantage. Reach advantage. 71 inches versus 70, not too much. David Tua has a little bit more weight, 225, 218. I would say they were kind of literally in the same frame. You know what I'm saying? Tyson's peekaboo, aggressive counterpuncher, and what's the name, has got a granite chin. David Tua's granite chin, and a pressure fighter. As you can tell, I'm reading off of ChatGPT because they're giving me the tail of the tape. Power devastating in both hands. Mike Tyson has knockout power in both hands. David Tua has a great left hook. Okay, speed. David Tua's average. Mike Tyson, extremely fast hands. I'm entitled to agree with that. His bob and weave style technique. I'm going to go with Mike Tyson in this fight.
Well, I feel like this
by decision. Before you continue, by decision. But if somebody was to get knocked out, it might be Mike Tyson getting caught because he'll get tired later in the fight.
I know early in Mike Tyson's career, he was fighting a lot of people that was way older than him, a lot of fighters that were way out of their prime. So, of course, he definitely had the speed advantage against them. That's what ChatGPT, they gave the speed advantage to Tyson. But I feel like the speed advantage they only gave it to Tyson because he fought a lot of fighters who were way older than him. If you ask me, I would have to go with David Tua. I'm sorry.
By
I would
knockout?
have to go with Tua. Possibly, yes. David Tua wasn't no joke. Man.
I got Tyson by decision because you never really saw Tyson really get gassed like that in his prime.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Later in his career, yeah, of course, but in his prime, we talking prime versus prime. I don't see Mike Tyson losing to David Tua unless he somehow gets knocked out. And now, if it's prime versus prime, this is prior to him losing to Buster Douglas. You know what I'm saying? So if he has a full training camp with Customato, he might not even get knocked out by David Tua. You know what I'm saying? He might actually knock David Tua out.
I don't see him knocking Tua out. Tua has a great chin, bro. I don't see him knocking Tua out. I see that's a great fight, man. I can see both of them coming forward.
Yeah,
I
you're
just
not
see
going to
a
see no jabs
collision.
thrown at all. No jabs being
Nothing,
thrown in that
just
fight.
hooks,
The
man.
first, the
Just
first,
hooks.
the first 5 rounds is just going to be a straight brawl with them two fighting, with David Tua and Mike Tyson. You know what I'm saying? That shit would be fire. That'd be a dope fight. You know what I'm saying?
I
So
could
let's
say,
see what Chat. Go ahead.
wait, I could see Tyson has better defense. He
Mm-hmm.
has better head movement, and he might be a little faster than Tua, but I think you need more than that to beat somebody like Tua.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
So
believe
I
Tua is
mean,
more patient, but go ahead.
this is they got the tactical breakdown on ChatGPT. They were saying Mike Tyson
Mm.
advantages, much faster hands and feet, more refined head movement and angles, that custom model shit, obviously. Better combinations of punches and defense in his prime. More diverse attack with his body head punches was crazy. So that's what they're giving Tyson over him. Now Tua, one of the best chins in heavyweight history, never stopped in his prime. Equal, if not greater, one punch KO power, slightly more durable over the long haul. But the long haul is when you're coming out in the prime, obviously. I'm going to go with Mike Tyson. Now, let's see who wins. Let's see what they say. If it's a 12-round fight in a prime, Tyson wins by unanimous decision or late TKO in most scenarios. He'd be too fast, too sharp early, and would land a combination before Tua could react. Tua will absorb a lot, but he is often too patient and early and could be outworked. However, if Tyson doesn't get Tua out of there early and fades, just like what I was saying, as he sometimes did in the past, and did in the past in round 5, Tua has a real shot at landing a late bomb, which is true. That's pretty much
I
what I
mean,
just
we
said.
talking, yo, if Holyfield knocked Mike down,
Mm-hmm.
you think Tua can't hurt him? Holyfield knocked Tyson down.
Was that a prime Mike Tyson, though? Do we really want to call after jail Mike Tyson prime
I
Mike?
mean, shit, Buster knocked his ass down too. So what you saying? I mean, that was somewhat of a prime Mike Tyson, but he had a lot of stuff going on outside
Yeah,
the ring too.
that's
So
a fact.
I could give him the benefit of the doubt when it comes down to that.
Yeah,
Costamato died. Then he had the wrong people in his corner. So again,
I got Mike Tyson.
I
And they
got
said
Tua.
they got final verdict. Mike Tyson wins 8 out of 10 times, especially in the first half of the fight due to his superior speed, defense, and skills. And Tua
Mm,
has pretty much only has a puncher's chance.
mm.
But Mike Tyson's explosiveness and head movement makes him the favorite. I'm telling you, the Mike Tyson explosiveness alone, he's quicker than him and got equal power. You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean, but then again, Mike Tyson, early in his career, he's always been matched with slower dudes. He's always been matched with older dudes. When I watch highlights of Mike Tyson fights, when they have the camera angle from top, most of these
Yeah.
dudes got ball spots, man. All fucking man. I mean, old ass Michael
Yeah, but
Spinks,
you gotta
old
but
ass Larry Holmes. I mean, come on. I mean, the guys who did give Tyson a really good fight. You got Mitch Green, who
yeah.
who clearly out. He to me he worked the jab perfectly. Razor
Mhm.
Roddick was another guy who worked the jab perfectly. Um, but I see Tua winning, man. I just Chat GPT has Mike. They give Mike
Yeah.
Tyson the edge. You also giving Mike Tyson the edge. But
Yeah.
that's a fight that I wish that could have happened, man.
Definitely, definitely. I mean, that was something that couldn't happen if Mike never went to jail, because that was during around that time. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He probably could have fought Shannon and Cannon too. You know what I'm saying? There was a couple of fights out there. But
I got
anyway, we're
Mike
gonna move
Tyson
on to
beating
the next fight though.
Shannon Briggs.
Yeah, oh, you do? Okay, okay. Yeah, I got him beating them
Beating
too as
Shannon
well.
Briggs.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. All right, let's move on to the next one. You ready?
Let's go.
Shane Mosley versus Meldrick Taylor.
Oh, that's good because they got the same fighting style. Like both of them want they hit back. Like they want that get back. If you hit them a little bit too hard, the crowd like, oh, they want their shit back. So to me, they have a
Yeah.
similar fighting style. Like they throw flurries and stuff like that. They're both rhythm fighters. Like they both, have their little bounce to get into their rhythm. A lot of them don't really. Both of them really don't. Well, I would say. What do you think? I think whoever has the better jab, I think that will win a fight.
Well, I can tell you right now, when it comes to this to me, I think it's gonna be more of a speed matchup for
Both
me
are
because
fast, though.
Shane Mosley, I think, has more power than Meldrick Taylor. The reach advantage. Shane Mosley actually has like quite a bigger reach on him. So when it comes to the jab, it's gonna be he might be able to ward him off. And like I said, Shane Mosley has speed. Meldrick is probably faster than him though. You know what I'm saying? Good.
But Shane Mosley was taking PEDs at one point in time in his career with Victor Conte. So you have to really question how fast was Shane? How good was Shane? That's something that you have to take into, you definitely have to take into consideration too. Like we don't really know how good Shane Mosley was because he admit to taking PEDs.
Yeah.
So based off that, I will give it to Meldrick Taylor.
Now they fought in PEDs.
He fought a tough fight against Chavez. To me, he beat Chavez. Richard still robbed him. One of his toughest fights was Chavez, and I believe he never recovered from the Chavez fight.
Yeah, no, he definitely never recovered. He kind of faded off, really, if you want to be honest.
Right. But I give it to Meldrick Taylor. What does ChatGPT say?
All right, so ChatGPT, tactical breakdown. Mosley advantages: stronger physically and more powerful, more durable overall in his prime.
PEDs.
More complete as a pro, experience at a higher weight classes in big fights. Taylor's advantages: slight edge, enhanced speed, volume, and output, throws more punches per round, better amateur pedigree, sharper technical footwork early in fights. So it's going to be they both have speed, but Meldrick got more speed. But Shane, like I said, Shane has more power. And like I said, let me go back to the tail of the tape. So I'm looking at the tail of the tape now. They only an inch and a half of height apart, but this nigga Meldrick Taylor's fucking reach is 66 and a half, and Shane Mosley's is 71, bro. That right there, that means a lot.
The jab, it does. It does. Shane Mosley has a longer reach, so he could definitely utilize his jab more. But again, you have to question. Shane Mosley was on PED. He was on PEDs.
I mean, we can't. I mean, we gonna not bring up the PEDs.
Can we not bring up the PEDs?
Okay,
we can't just whitewash it.
I was about to say, I know you just act like it never happened.
No, I give the edge to Meldrick Taylor because again, we really don't know how really good Shane Mosley was. I mean, we don't know. We don't know. Again, he's came out and he's admitted. This is not something that I'm just saying. He admitted to taking PEDs. He was in an interview. He was questioned about it. He admitted to it with Victor Conte, the whole Blanco scandal. So I'm gonna give the edge to Meldrick Taylor.
Well, I guess I need to no longer ChatGPT to come up with anything else because you're gonna keep saying PEDs anyway. Final verdict.
Yo, what just happened? Something just happened.
I know. That shit started tripping. It said final verdict: if they fight at 135 and 140 pounds, Shane Mosley wins 6 out of 7 times. His combination, speed, power, durability likely wears Taylor down in the later rounds. And they did say that he got better body punches than him, and we saw what the body punches did to him in the Chavez fight. So they got.
They said if
Taylor has a performance like he did against Buddy McGirt, he has a chance to win on points. And it's going to be points.
You're talking 6 out of 7, but ChatGPT is not. They're not excluding. They're not really talking about Shane being on PEDs. So if you got him at that Shane, and you're saying it's 6 out of 7, then I'm giving it to Meldrick Taylor. Sorry.
Well, guess what? They don't have PEDs in the scorecard, so what you gonna do?
I'm just saying. You know how I feel about that. Performance enhancement drugs are usually there to take a fighter to the next level. If you're a good fighter, PEDs are gonna make you great.
Yeah.
So that's just my take on it.
Let's move to the next one, bro.
Sure.
Wow.
Oh, you talking about prime Zab Judah?
Yes,
Prime.
all of these, every one of these fights is prime, bro. We don't want to see
Ooh.
the old nigga version of them. All
Ooh.
prime. Who
Or
you got?
prime? Zab Judah.
You got Zab. All right,
I
can we
got
talk about?
Zab.
Can we talk about the? Let's talk about it. 5'10", 5'7" and a half. Oscar De La Hoya is 5'10". 73 and a half inch reach for De La Hoya, 72-inch reach for Zab Judah. Obviously, their best weight classes for both of them is between 140 and 147. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, go ahead.
I got Zab. Zab is very, very explosive. He works off his jab, and a disciplined Zab Judah and a well-trained Zab Judah like he was when and early in his career was a problem for anybody, man. I mean, they
Yeah,
just didn't see the left coming. He was too explosive, man. Very,
yeah,
very elusive fighter. I mean, Oscar De La Hoya, you would get the Oscar, he'd work his jab a little bit, he'll bounce up and down, and he had a nice left hook. But Zab Judah, he was a dog, man. Oscar
yeah.
ain't had no dog in his early career. Oscar ain't have no
Huh?
dog in him.
I don't agree with that. I don't
Oscar ain't
agree with
have no
that.
dog, man.
Yes, he did. Oscar
He ain't
definitely
got
had
dog
dog.
in him. Where was the dog
What?
at when he fought Trinidad? He ain't had no dog in him. He ran after he fought Trinidad, and they gave it to Trinidad. I mean, he was robbed, if you ask
He
me,
was
though. I
that
feel
was
like
the
he did
makeup. That
enough
was
to
the make.
win.
That was the makeup for that Pernell Whitaker fight, and
Yeah,
possibly
but
Ike
he ain't
Quartet.
have no. I don't see Oscar. I ain't never seen no dog. Tell me a fight that Oscar De La Hoya had and he had dog in him.
Hmm.
What
Oh well,
fight?
he had
He ain't had no dog in him.
but
Um,
you saw fights where Oscar absolutely beat the shit out of people, bro. We can't
bro,
sit here and
Felix
act like we haven't.
Stern beat Oscar De La Hoya. Felix Stern is the reason why he said he don't ever want to fight in the States anymore because he was robbed when he fought Oscar De La Hoya. So they was giving Oscar De La Hoya gifted victories.
Oh, we
Bob
talking
Arum.
prime. We talking about prime, right?
Yes, we talking Prom De
Okay.
La Hoya. I believe Ike Corte beat Oscar De La Hoya. Felix
He got
Stern beat
he
Oscar De
dropped
La
him in the
Hoya.
last round. He
Pernell
dropped him in the last round.
Pernell Whitaker beat Oscar De La
Oh, we
Hoya,
got
but it was the Golden Boy era, so they
yeah,
gave it to him. So
yeah,
I
hell
got
yeah.
a prime Zab Judah. What?
Oh, we got a special
He was
guest. We got a
scary.
special guest. We got a special guest. Special
Bring
guest.
him
Special
on
guest. Special guest. Special guest alert. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up.
and
Pull up.
ask him about Mike.
What up,
Hey,
my
what's
boy?
going
What up?
on,
What
brother?
up?
What's
Yo,
going
welcome to the
on, my
show,
guy?
man.
How y'all doing? How
Introduce
y'all
yourself.
doing?
Good, good. Introduce yourself, brother.
My name is Gio. I'm out here. I live in Vegas. I'm a big fighting fan. Just not too old generation. I'm only 20, but
Okay,
we love the
okay.
sport. We love the sport. We try being around. We try learning new things.
Of course, absolutely,
Absolutely.
absolutely. Well, you came around you around the right crowd, you know what I'm saying? Because we definitely know a little more old school because we were born in the 80s. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah,
Motherfuckers
yeah,
don't be trying to calculate that. But anyway,
yeah.
but yeah, appreciate you pulling up on the show, man. We doing our thing, you know what I'm saying? Right now we're just discussing dream matches so far. We went through a couple so far. Obviously, Kiki went off the rail talking about PEDs when I brought up Shane Mosley.
I mean,
So
it's a fact. Shane, he tested positive for PED, so you really have to question his victories. Am I right? You
I
can't just
mean,
sweep that under the rug. Come
yeah,
on.
he not
It's a
wrong.
fact. It's a fact. He was part of the Blanco scandal with Victor Conti, and he admit to using PEDs. So you definitely have to question his resume now. I
Yeah,
mean, you can't
but
just ignore that.
but
okay.
it's not just him. You got Manny Pacquiao.
Of course,
You got
Canelo.
Canelo Alvarez.
Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, Kenny will tell you too. I question anybody that will work
John
with
Jones,
Smack
got to say
and Victor
John
Yeah.
Jones.
Conti. I mean, just knowing Victor
Oh,
Conti's
John
history, why
Jones
would
for
you want to
sure.
associate yourself with someone like that? Why would I
Yeah.
want to be? If I'm a fighter and I work hard to get to where I'm at, right? And I am a clean fighter, why would I want to associate myself with somebody like Victor Conti who has a history of performance enhancement drugs? Why?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
You're
Like
right.
even I'm gonna be honest. I even question again Shakur Stevenson, Bud Crawford. I mean, when you watch a documentary that they have on about Victor Conti on which was on Netflix, right? Fighters went to him so they could take their game to the next level. So if you're a good fighter, you become great when you go to Victor Conti.
Yeah.
You blow fighters out, okay? And Victor Conti, he was a mastermind at masking masking drugs for performance enhancement random drug tests. They have fighters who cycle off, and he was a master at that. They would call him the mad science. The mad scientist, I'm sorry, the mad scientist of masking PEDs. So I question anybody that's with snack program. I'm sorry, that's just me.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. We was just right now, we was doing the dream match. We was doing Zab Judah versus Oscar De La Hoya right now. So
A
who you think will
Zab
win?
Judah.
And this is all the dream fights is all prime. Who you think will win that?
That was kind of tough, cause Oscar was a dog, you know.
Thank you. He just said before you got here, he said Oscar didn't have dog in him.
Oh no!
Exact
Show me.
words.
You gotta show me about. You gotta show. Tell me about that Oscar had dog in him, because I believe they robbed Felix Sturm when he fought Oscar De La Hoya. This is why Felix Sturm never said he would never fight in the States again, because they robbed him, which they did. I believe they robbed Trinidad. I believe Oscar was robbed against Trinidad, though. I give him that. I believe he beat Felix Trinidad.
I think he beat Trinidad too.
He beat Trinidad, but
it was a close one.
Pernell Whitaker. He was
the Mayweather one was close as well. The Mayweather and Oscar De La Hoya was close too.
It was close, but I don't see Oscar De La Hoya beating a prime Zab Judah. Zab Judah, when he was at his best, when he was focused, bro, he was very, very elusive. His left hand was a problem, man. He was too elusive, you know?
I think he would have Costa Zooed the shit out his ass, bro.
Huh?
I think he would have Costa Zooed his ass before Costa Zoo got to do it.
The only reason why Zab Judah lost to Costa Zoo is because his corner told him to slow down. The first round, look at that first round. Zab was whooping Costa Zoo's ass. He was on him. But his trainer told him to slow down, and Zab ended up getting caught because he pulled back with his hands down. Keep your hands up. He pulled back like this, and Zab and Costa Zoo tapped him. Boop. And
it was never the same after that.
Never
was the same after that. You know what I'm saying? So what ChatGPT is saying, the final verdict, Oscar De La Hoya wins by unanimous decision, 8 rounds to 4 or 9 rounds to 3. He's too composed, too technically sharp, and too battle tested for Zab over 12 rounds. So far, bro, you've actually been losing on all your decisions so far to ChatGPT.
But again, let's be clear. ChatGPT isn't talking about, even when we came up with Meldrick Taylor versus Shane Mosley, ChatGPT.
There's no PEDs in this fight, though.
They're not talking about fighters' PED usage. They're not talking about that. So
but there's no PEDs. None of these guys in this fight got caught with PEDs. What does that have to do with anything?
I mean,
you talk about Shane Mosley. Okay, well, we also spoke about Mike Tyson and David Tua, and you picked David Tua, and I picked Mike Tyson.
I can't. That would have been a matchup I would have loved to see, man.
What about you, Gio? What you think?
I didn't really see him too much. You know, obviously I've seen Mike Tyson because he's Mike Tyson, but I haven't really seen the other guy. You know,
David Tua.
Check him out.
Chance, just watch.
Check him out. Definitely check him out.
Tua. Very, very strong fighter, Samoan, and he had a hell of a left hook. One of his greatest knockout highlights is him when he knocked out David Ruiz.
No, John Ruiz.
I'm sorry, not David, but John Ruiz. I'll stand corrected. John Ruiz.
And I think he knocked out Rockman too, I believe.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? He got a couple of he got a couple of notches on his belt. So definitely check him out. Definitely do your research on that one if you guys be trying to do any due diligence on that. You know what I'm saying? So I got a crazy one for you, Kiki. You gonna like this one right here.
What's that?
You ready?
Yes, go.
Hold up.
James Toney versus
Canelo Alvarez. Gorilla Man.
Who you got?
Damn, James Toney was a problem. Damn, oh man. I would watch that fight as just a boxing fan. Like I couldn't pick. I would just have to sit back and just really watch that fight and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because that's a good fight. James Toney had great defensive skills. Now, Are we talking about the because it's two kind of
There's
Canelo.
middleweight. We're talking middleweight.
But you have two kind of Canelos. I feel like Canelo had gotten way better after his loss to Mayweather. Right after he lost to Mayweather,
that's when he was in his prime.
Fight after that, he was moving his head more. He was showing that he had more defensive skills after that loss to Mayweather. So
before he was relying a lot on power.
Right. And when he lost the Floyd, he started, boxing more, like started moving his head more. His defensive skills had gotten better. So I would say this, right? Before the Mayweather loss, I would give it to Tony. After the Mayweather loss, I would say, damn, that's a good fight. That's a really, really good fight.
You said after the Mayweather loss? You said after the Mayweather loss?
Before the Mayweather loss, I would have given it to Tony. After the Mayweather loss, I would say it's a great fight because Canelo learned a lot from that fight. He gained a lot of experience after stepping in the ring with Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah,
really?
That's true.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Where do you think he started getting all that head movement from?
Canelo wasn't doing all that. Hold on. Because to make sure we're on the same page, because I feel like I heard you say this, but it sounds like you explained it different. So you're saying after the Mayweather loss, he would beat James Toney or James Toney would beat him?
I would say after the Mayweather loss, the fight would be very, very interesting. I would sit back and watch it as a boxing fan. But before the Mayweather loss, I would give it to James Toney.
Okay, all right. I was just making sure. I thought I heard it backwards.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
Think?
Canelo was a big. I agree with that too. Canelo was a big different fighter after the Floyd loss. Big time. Like prime Canelo versus Daniel Jacobs. Oh yeah, he was a problem.
Right.
Yeah, I do agree with what you just said though, Keith. I do agree that Canelo would lose if it was before the Mayweather loss, and after the Mayweather loss, I think he would still lose, but we wouldn't know that because he would get robbed.
Well, we don't know. I mean, if you got Judge CJ Ross on the card, then maybe they get robbed, all right.
All right, so you want to see what
ChatGPT says?
All right, let's see. All right, early. Oh, wait a minute. Where that shit at? I actually didn't. Oh, it didn't even pull up. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, it did. It's because I have multiple. I know they keep all of the ones that I pull up on here.
So you put it on the website, and then it gives the best.
It tells you.
Yeah.
Okay.
What it does is it looks at the fighter's accolades, and it gives like detail, like it gives pros and cons, the advantages and disadvantages of each fighter.
Yeah.
And then it uses that and it gives their prediction.
They're giving him James.
But it doesn't talk about fighters using PEDs or anything like that too. So.
Hey, they
who they gave it to?
They gave it James Toney the chin.
They gave James Toney the chin, you said?
Yeah. All right, so 50-50 fight. But James Toney wins on a razor close decision in the 12-round war at 160.
Close.
It said Tony's slickness and composure inside might neutralize Canelo's body work. His counter punching and volume could output Canelo in some rounds. Canelo lands the harder, flashier shots, but Tony's consistency and ring generation might edge him ahead on the cards. And they say
I can kind of see where they get that from, though. Only because James Toney also has that Philly shell style like Mayweather, and he can stand in front of Canelo and fight in the pocket.
What's up with your sound, Kiki?
Oh, that's me? Let me try. Hold on. I'm sorry.
Is that me who sound like that? Do I sound like that?
Or is that me?
Okay,
is that me? So I can put some headphones on.
Oh yeah, can you put some headphones on? That'd be even better.
Yeah, let me mute up real quick. Get some headphones.
Okay,
does it still sound messed up?
Yeah, when you put the headphones on, it sound crazy. Maybe your joint's about to die, son.
Okay, what about now? Sounds much better?
Oh yeah, much better. Hell yeah.
Okay, copy. Okay.
Hell yeah. All right, cool. So like I said, that one will be a close one. Canelo, if he wins, is probably gonna be on a robbery. We all know that.
Right. Again, especially if you got CJ Ross on the card.
All right, so you ready for the next one?
Sure. Oh, Lennox Lewis. all day. Lennox Lewis. Lennox Lewis. Let's wait for Gio to come back. But I got Lennox Lewis all the way. No, hands down, no debating.
Yeah. Be a dope fight. Lennox Lewis 6'5". Tyson Fury 6'9". The reach advantage is only 1 inch difference.
Wow.
84 and 85. Yeah. So and Fury, we know he could get hit. You know what I'm saying? We've seen him get hit. Usyk is way shorter than him, and he was hitting him. You know what I'm saying? Who you got? You said you got Lennox,
I got Lewis.
Lennox
I got Lennox Lewis. Definitely have Lennox Lewis. And then there's always a lot of controversy when you hear Tyson Fury's name too. He allegedly tested positive for banned substance. The glove tampering. It's no secret that he tampered with gloves in a sparring session against a fighter. That these are facts though. But when it comes down to skill, I just got Lennox Lewis just beating him and even possibly stopping him.
Okay.
I like Lennox Lewis because he works behind his jab. He has a great jab, and he works behind his jab. He
They
has
both
a great
pretty. The thing is, Tyson Fury in his prime, he could work behind that jab, but then it's like he just started getting hit once he got older. He got slower. Like his size really showed. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Lewis is obviously, we know Lewis is gonna be out there looking to control the fight with the fucking jab any damn way. So
And I tell you one
we
thing.
know.
If Lennox Lewis lost the first fight, he damn sure was going to win a rematch.
And that was I was thinking too. I was like, Tyson Fury will fuck around and win the first fight on some accidental knockout shit because Lennox Lewis, no, if that happened, he probably beat the dog shit out of him in the next fight.
Gio, who you got? Tyson Fury or Lennox Lewis? Both in their primes.
Both in their primes. I think Lennox got it.
Me too. I agree.
I think Lennox got it.
I
Tyson
agree.
Fury was really good, but I don't know. I think he's really popular for the Deontay Wilder fights. And Deontay Wilder makes a lot of mistakes.
Deontay Wilder, he
really good
he had
though.
a nice strong run in boxing, bro.
Yeah,
I mean, you talking about he really didn't have no skill. He just had a 1-2. And he fought most of the fighters he fought, they were back up against him. Fighters that came straight forward, they would back him up. They always gave him problems. Most fighters were intimidated when they stepped into the ring with him, and they will back up. But Tyson Fury, when you take the fight to Deontay, when you take the fight to Wilder, bro, easy win. I got Lennox Lewis beating them. What does GPT state, Kenny?
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready, bro.
We all got this one wrong according to ChatGPT.
Oh man.
So they got Tyson Fury wins by majority or unanimous decision, 115, 113, 116, 112. But then it says Lennox Lewis wins three to 4 times out of the 10 by KO or unanimous decision if you can maintain control and land clean.
No, I think ChatGPT. I can't agree with that. I feel like Lennox Lewis had one of the best jabs in the game, and he worked behind his jab. He had a hell of a right hand, so he was very, very strong. And let's just say this again, put it out there. If Lennox Lewis lost the first fight, you better believe he was definitely going to win that rematch.
Oh yeah, for sure.
By KO.
Yeah, there's
right by KO. Right.
Yeah, there's no debate in that. There's no debate in that. All right, let's move on to the next one. Next one. Let's see what we got here. That's the one you wanted right there.
Pretty boy Floyd. And you talk about Sugar Ray Leonard and his prime. Ooh, and they both were in before that 147 too. Ooh. I gotta go with Pretty Boy Floyd, though. I'm sorry, man. I gotta go with Pretty Boy Floyd. Floyd was a problem when his hands wasn't fucked up. Floyd was stopping everybody at 135, 130, 135, 140. What?
Yeah.
Bro, when he moved to 147, that's when he had
they're saying the fight. Before you continue, ChatGPT got it when they already saying 147.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
This is interesting because they both put up the weight class, I guess. That's why they got it like that.
Uh-huh.
I got Mayweather Jr. I got Junior. I'm sorry. I got Junior.
Who you got, Gio?
Sugar Ray was really good. But, I don't know. I can't disagree with Floyd Mayweather by decision, But Pretty
Yeah.
Boy Floyd was stopping people back then.
Yo,
But like he's saying, when he hurt his hands, he was being the smarter fighter. You know.
more defensive.
Hmm.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
became
really
Money
more
May.
defensive.
He became
Yeah,
Money May.
you
You
can't
got
Yeah.
define
Pretty
that.
Boy
Yeah.
Floyd, and you got Money Mayweather.
Yeah, and
I,
Money
to me
Mayweather was the best
personally,
in the game.
I have Mayweather too, because I don't think that Sugar Ray Leonard fucking last 30-second flurry works against somebody like Mayweather. But Mayweather didn't have the power of like Hagler, obviously. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah,
It'd be a really, really close fight. But I feel like I could edge it to Mayweather, but I wouldn't be surprised if Sugar Ray Leonard won, if that
all right.
makes sense.
I
yeah.
understand, but I feel like Floyd would have definitely rise to the occasion because when he was in his prime, he was Pretty Boy Floyd. Yo, he wanted to smoke with everybody. He been
Yeah.
called out Shane Mosley when he was Pretty Boy Floyd. He been called out. Shane made an excuse about his teeth hurting and he wanted to go on vacation. He was calling out Prince Hamed
Nassim Ahmed.
Prince Nassim Hamed. He was
He
calling
was
him out.
trash.
Floyd
He
had
was
something
trash.
to prove when he was younger. He wanted to
Yeah.
fight the best. Floyd trains hard. And I guess, he would have looked at that moment as a moment where he would capitalize from it. And I believe
Yeah.
he would have rose to the occasion if he would have fought Sugar Ray Leonard. And on top of that, Sugar Ray Leonard beat his dad.
Yeah.
So he would
But
have definitely
but
had
if they
motivation to
yeah,
really
but
want
we
to
did
come in there and do
but
You
you
something,
we
can't.
put a
can't
hurting
but
on him.
we can't do that because they fought in two different generations.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So we can't pull the
yeah.
dad card in here, because if they would have fought each other, there's no way he would have fought his dad.
Well, now I'm just curious to see what ChatGPT has to say about this.
All right, so they said most likely scenario. That's what they put. Sugar Ray Leonard wins by razor close decision. Leonard's speed, athleticism, ability to fight in bursts could edge out rounds on activity. That 30-second bullshit flurry shit that he did against Hagler. Mayweather would land the cleaner
Mm.
punches, but Leonard may steal the rounds with the flurries and aggression.
That shit
Split
he did with
decision or
Hagler.
majority decision, 115-113 or 114-114 draw on some of the cards. So they saying split or majority decision in the favor of Leonard.
Uh,
I feel like that's not bad, but Floyd also dealt with a lot of like rushers and speedsters, and he handled it pretty
right,
well, you know.
right.
But I guess they know better.
I, f- I, f- I feel like, to be honest, Floyd had, even when he was Pretty Boy Floyd, he had the
Yeah.
best of his father, who was a defensive fighter, and he had the best of Roger, his uncle, who was well known as an offensive fighter. Floyd could still utilize his defensive skills, that Philly shell, while he would have been in there with him. All of that Sugar Ray Leonard trying to steal him rounds with them little bullshit the amateur flurry
Electric
styles.
shit.
I hate it. I hate that flurry style. Like Shane Mosley used to fight like that. Danny Jacobs used to fight like that with the whole Amherst to throwing the flurry. No, that's when you're trying to steal fights. That's they get that style from the point system. The amateurs. There was a point system.
Yeah,
So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like the Olympics,
that wouldn't have
yeah,
worked against Floyd Mayweather Jr. I believe Floyd. Nobody was messing with Pretty Boy Floyd. I'm sorry, nobody was messing with Pretty Boy Floyd.
You didn't like that
He was
outcome
one
from
of the most
ChatGPT.
avoided fighters. He even called out Costa Zoo. He wanted to fight Costa Zoo. Nobody wanted to fight Pretty Boy.
That
Nobody.
Kasazu fight, he would have beat that. Should have looked like the Arturo Gatti fight.
What?
I wouldn't have
Man.
wanted to see that shit. I'm happy he didn't accept that fight. That would have been a waste. That would have been like a sparring match on TV.
Mm.
All right, so next one. Let's move on to the next one. You ready for this one?
Let's go. Oh, I got Roy Jones.
You got
I
Roy
got Roy
Jones?
Jones. But,
Yeah.
it's no secret. Roy Jones tested positive for a banned substance. Hey, testosterone. He test positive for a banned substance. That substance that he tested positive for gave him he was able to add on more muscle, and it gave him more speed. This is why Roy Jones Jr. looked immaculate in the ring. So you definitely have to question, you definitely have to question some of his wins. He tests positive for a banned substance, which helped him gain muscle mass and speed. I don't know.
But how many of those fighters you think that fought back in like the 80s who was on PEDs and they didn't have the type of right test to catch them, though?
I mean, we would never know, but I know that motherfucker Roy Jones test positive. You know what I'm
Man, Gio, who you got, man? I can't
I
deal
mean,
with
we
this
can
nigga,
imagine, we can assume, but there's something called reality at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And he did test positive. So listen.
Yeah, like he's saying, I think Roy Jones Jr. like the PEDs, you can really tell the difference on him. I don't know if it was just him in particular because he made a big difference when he came out saying he did PEDs. But Tommy Hearns, I've seen a little bit of him, not too much. I usually like watching a lot of fights and stuff. I've seen a lot of full fights of Roy Jones or stuff like that. So I'm obviously leaning towards Roy Jones, but I feel like I can't really make a
Yeah,
call
the
on
way
this one.
Tommy Hearns knocked out motherfucking Duran, yo, that shit was
Mm-hmm.
nasty.
But
They was
he
caught in
was
the ropes.
outboxed. He was outboxed
Yeah,
by Sugar Ray Leonard. So
yeah,
Roy
he
can
did.
outbox him. I can see Roy
Yeah.
outboxing him.
Mhm.
I could definitely see that. I could definitely see Roy just pinpointing him, boom, 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 in the middle of that ring, beating him to the punch and things like that.
I got
Because Tommy Hearns
Roy
had a
winning
nice
too.
1-2. All Tommy Hearns had was a nice 1-2. Because if Tommy Hearns hit you with that right hand, you was out. If he hit you clean, you was out. So he just had a nice 1-2. He didn't really
Roy knocking that nigga the fuck out, bro.
I see. Okay. I got Roy Jones beating Tommy Hearns.
I got Roy Jones by knockout. And Tommy Hearns gonna have that stupid ass Jerry curl too. He ain't gonna have a flat top. He gonna have that stupid ass Jerry curl. He gonna get knocked the fuck out.
All right, I'm giving that bout to Roy. Let's see what ChatGPT states.
Roy Jones wins by late TKO or a wide unanimous decision. They're saying it's not even close, bro. Hearns is always dangerous, and if he catches Roy clean early, he could do the damage. So basically, the Tarver shit. You know what I'm saying? Boy, Roy's blinding speed, unorthodox rhythm, and ability to make his opponents miss by inches would frustrate Hearns. Hearns' chin was shaky at 160. See the Hagler fight we did. That's true. That's why Roy is going to knock him the fuck out.
Right.
Roy's power was enough to exploit that if he landed clean. And Roy is going to land clean. At middleweight, Roy is going to land clean.
Pinpoint accuracy.
They say. So the prediction is Roy Jones win by 10th TKO or 117-111 unanimous decision.
Big time.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So
that's the most one-sided one so far.
Yeah, definitely the most one-sided one. A lot of them been pretty damn close. Even like the Tyson David Tua was pretty close. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So we'll see. We'll see what's up. We're gonna move on to. I don't. This next one, though, you asked me to put this. I really don't know too much about Edwin Valero.
You got it. His knockout ratio is 100%. You don't know about Edwin Valero? What?
And I see he was undefeated too. Did he die early?
His story was he ended up killing his wife. Okay, and he ended up going to jail, and I forgot. Did he commit suicide while in jail? But his knockout ratio,
I know
even Mikey Garcia said Edwin Valero, he sparred him, and he was one of the hardest punches he's ever been in the ring with. Edwin Valero, bro, he was a problem. He was knocking shit out, bro.
Yeah, I've seen this guy
I've
before.
never seen him before.
Valario.
Yeah, I've never seen him before like at all, bro.
He was a problem, but his personal life, just changed everything.
There's a lot of boxers like that. Even the one who killed Edwin brother.
I got Edwin Valario stopping Roberto Duran.
Yeah.
I mean, Tommy Hearns knocked Duran out. I mean, what the hell? So he can be knocked out. He can be knocked out.
Tommy Hearns got knockout power.
And
obviously,
Edwin Valario, 100%.
Edwin knocked out every single guy.
100%. That means he knocked out everybody he's been in the ring with.
Antonio DeMarco, 23-1. Hector Velasquez, 51-13. Antonio Pitala, 47-3. He wasn't fighting nobodies either.
I mean, shit. Okay. I mean, Mikey Garcia said he'd been in the ring with him, and that man was the hardest puncher he's ever been in the ring with. Yeah, I got Edwin Valario. So who do you got, Gio?
I mean, Roberto Duran has been dropped. You know, you
He's
got to
been
go with
dropped. He's
Duran. They
been
got
knocked out. He's been
27
outboxed. No
knockouts.
mas. I mean, when
Yeah.
he's been frustrated. He's been outboxed. No mas when
Let
he
me
fought Sugar Ray Leonard
let
in the
me
second fight.
let me
Who
ask
you
you something.
got, Kenny?
Anybody on that list from Valero? You think any of them would have beaten Roberto Duran from Valero's list? Yeah, I think any of those people would have beat Roberto Duran.
I believe he would have knocked out
You
a lot of
think?
fighters who Edwin
You,
Valario fought. But
you think
Edwin
if they
Valario,
had
he was
fought the
different.
same exact people, he'd be 27-0 with 27 knockouts too, bro.
But you got to
Let's be
understand too.
honest.
You got to understand the sport of boxing and the business side of boxing. A lot of fighters, a lot of promoters and matchmakers would not want to put their cash cow in with Edwin Valario. He's a problem. He's no pushover. So
Yeah,
fights like trying to get good fights would have come very very hard,
yeah,
very
yeah.
very hard. Nobody wants to fight him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So let's see
You
what
ready for
ChatGPT has to say about this one.
final verdict? Roberto Duran wins by TKO in the rounds 9 or 10. Duran had everything.
What?
That's
Hold on.
every.
Duran had everything Valero lacked: experience, defense, timing, and the ability to go deep into tough fights. Valero's power makes him dangerous early, but Duran's iron chin and elite countering would neutralize it. Duran was a complete fighter, and Valero is still unproven at the elite level.
I mean, I give
Yeah.
ChatGPT that he was unproven at that elite level, but it goes to show you
Yeah,
that.
why would you
Uh,
think?
uh,
Okay.
wait. Roberto Duran can be outboxed. He quit against Sugar Ray Leonard in the second fight, and then Tommy Hearns knocked him out. So good chin my ass. You know what I'm saying?
Remember we
He-
talking.
But he's
Remember we talking
also
prime here.
Listen, man.
yeah. Prime
I got
Prime. He was
Edwin
fighting.
Valerio. I'm sorry. That's just me. I got Edwin Valerio.
Okay. All right. Mm.
Duran was tough though, going up so many weight classes, competing. You
Yeah.
know, that's like stuff Manny Pacman
That's
did
Yeah.
true.
too.
Yeah.
But it's just you are eventually gonna get knocked out if you keep going up and testing your
Taking
limits.
risks, going up,
Mm-hmm.
taking
Yeah,
fighting
taking
bigger
big
guys,
risks.
coming in as a smaller fighter. You're right. You're right. You're right.
I feel like that's probably the only reason you got to give Canelo respect too for that going up in weight and being able to be dominant.
Of course, much
Yeah.
That,
any fighter that can move up in weight and and become a champion at multiple weight classes, man. Because you're really at a disadvantage when you're coming up.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
big
Yeah.
time.
So the next one, let's do two more before we wrap up. Next one. What we got? What we got?
Oh, you said Willie Pep
But no,
versus.
Whitaker.
Ooh, I'm sorry, but
Obviously, this fight is gonna have to be at a catch weight. Obviously,
listen. You
it might
said
because Willie Pep was featherweight and Purnell was a lightweight, so they could do a catch weight like about 130.
I'm sorry, but it's so fucking hard to hit Pernell Whitaker. It's very, very hard. I mean, he frustrate fighters, man. I mean,
Yeah,
your ass
I
don't
understand
be
that. I
clean.
understand that. But just remember, Willie Pep is the only motherfucker you know who won a boxing round without throwing a single punch with his footwork and movement. His opponent could have hit him. He
I
didn't
get
throw a single punch and won the round.
very, very impressed by this dance moves, huh? They were very, very impressed by that. Shit, he
Mhm.
went down to history just for that.
Yeah. Do you know who you got? You got to pick on this,
I
Gio?
got, I got Sweet Pea.
I got Sweet Pea too.
Well, yeah, I think we were talking about the same guy, right? The one that the curly hair boy that had struggled currently fighting, right?
No,
No, no,
Pernell.
no.
No, Pernell Whitaker actually passed away. But
You talking about Ben
one of
Whitaker?
the best
Ben
defensive
Whitaker. That's what I was saying.
fighters
I was like,
ever.
that's kind of weird.
He was one of the best defensive
Uh,
fighters ever. People actually have him before Floyd Mayweather. They have him as number one and have Floyd Mayweather Jr. as number two. But Pernell Whitaker, he was a southpaw. He was very, very slick fighter, and he was hard to hit. I'm talking about he would get low on you. Like
mhm.
his defensive skills were, oh man, very, very impressive.
If you ever get a chance, watch his fight against Julio Cesar Chavez and his
Okay.
fight against Oscar De La Hoya. He was robbed in both those fights because they
Yes.
called that fight a draw against Chavez. And it was clear that Purnell won that fight. De La Hoya got dropped and couldn't land a single punch that fight against him. And this is when they was pushing De La Hoya, the golden boy, and all this shit like
Yes.
crazy.
Uh
Purnell
huh.
Whitaker made light work of him and got absolutely robbed in that fight. That might have been to me, that might be the biggest robbery in boxing history.
With the
Yes, he did.
Oscar and
One of
Whitaker.
the big-
Yeah, Oscar and Whitaker. That might be the biggest robbery in boxing history. Oh,
I,
actually, no, it might be something worse than
Oh,
that. Cause some,
I, I've seen this fight. I've seen this fight with Julio Cesar Chavez and him.
okay, yeah,
Yeah,
and that
yeah.
fight
I've
wasn't a
seen a little
draw.
bit of him. Yeah,
Yeah, that
I
fight
think
wasn't a draw.
yeah, I think I remember watching it. I'm not. I don't got to pick on it, but I've seen him before. I've seen him before for sure.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. So, ChatGPT got a out of the 51-49 toss up slight edge to Pernell Whitaker. Whitaker's
No
superior
Whitaker.
size. It says superior. Whitaker's superior size, long reach, and southpaw stance gives him the razor thin edge. In a close fight, modern judges may favor the Whitaker for landing slightly cleaner, more visible punches, but Pep could win on volume and movement in his era. So I guess it's one of those eras kind of thing. But to understand today's scoring criteria, effective aggression and clean punching often tips the scale. Obviously, in modern day, I guess the movement. I guess. I'll say so. Basically, what they're saying during Willie Pep era, if Canelo had fought William Skull in that era, William Skull would have won that shit easily.
easy.
That's what it sounded like to me.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. And this was, and Willie Pep was in the 40s and the 50s. You know what I'm saying?
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Hell yeah, hell yeah, hell
That
yeah. What
that
else
one
we
guy,
got?
that one guy with like 200 wins or something like that. Now
Who's that?
the guy against Pernell Whitaker.
Oh, Willie
Willie,
Pep.
Yeah, Willie Pep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He has 229 wins,
damn.
Mm-hmm.
but he only got 65 KOs of those. So he wasn't. When you think about it, if you do the ratio, he wasn't really wrecking shit that much.
Nah,
That's
nah,
a lot of.
nah.
I mean, he was really really active, man. I mean,
But back
fighting
then they would fight way more
like in the amateurs and stuff like that. Like Lumachenko, he has 300 something plus fights, like plus like fights in the amateurs, right?
amateur. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
That's a
Mhm.
and, to be a professional and to fight that much, that speaks volumes, man. Shit,
Yeah.
that motherfucker must have been fighting every week, right?
Yeah, it's because back then they used to fight a lot though, huh?
There
Damn.
was no concussions or doctor suspensions and none of that shit existed then, bro.
Yeah,
Right,
It
that's
was
why
just yeah,
but they all retired way earlier than they could have
right. Shit.
because
since
yeah,
the
it's
big tone
because
on your
they was.
body.
I
Hmm.
burnt that shit.
That's a fact. Who we got next? All right, guys, this is gonna be the last one before we wrap up.
Okay, okay.
We're gonna close out with Marvin Hagler versus Bernard
Marvin
Hopkins.
Hagler.
Ooh.
Marvelous versus the Executioner. Who you got? Both got the same reach. Two inch height advantage to Bernard Hopkins.
We saw ooh,
And just remember, Marvin Hagler could switch hit.
Yeah, prime for prime.
a very, very smart fighter. I mean, he made history for being one of the longest reigning middleweight champions ever for a
Yeah.
reason. When he was in his prime, he was definitely a problem. I'm giving a slight edge to Bernard Hopkins.
I got Hopkins too as well. By decision, because I think he has like, I won't say better defense, but I think his style, like his way, how smart he is as a boxer as he was in his prime. I think he would have won. Obviously, nobody was getting knocked out in this fight in their primes, for damn sure.
Yeah,
But I
we have a
definitely got
chance.
Bernard Hopkins getting on a decision in a close fight too.
Not by
Who
style,
you got?
definitely a decision.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Marvin would win by decision. Marvin Hagler, in my opinion, to be honest.
Okay.
I think it could go either way. I think it's a close one, like you said. But Bernard Hopkins was clearly the smarter fighter.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I don't know. I feel like their styles make a perfect match, to be honest, and
Yeah,
it could
I,
go
I
either way.
agree. I agree. I think that fight would be a great fight. That's a good one.
Easy.
That's actually a really good one. You know what I'm saying? So let's see what ChatGPT say. They got Marvin Hagler wins by razor thin unanimous decision.
Wow.
115, 113. Hopkins is craftier, but Hagler's work rate, physicality, and pressure earn him more rounds. Hopkins' style would limit Hagler's output, but not enough to take over the fight. Hagler was nearly impossible to outfight, and no one ever truly outclassed him at 160. So yeah, highly technical, sometimes ugly but brilliant fight. Like you said, that's a perfect matchup. When they said brilliant fight, the same thing pretty much we were saying. Yeah, so 115, 113, they got it to Hagler. They said if it was a 115, if it was one of the 15-round fight, they still edge it to Hagler. He always got stronger late. So they said if it was in Philly, a possible split decision for Hopkins.
Wow.
And then they said in today's pace, modern day rules even closer.
Hometown victory then.
Yeah, if he fought at home, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think
home court advantage, man. You know how that go.
Yeah, you know how that shit go. That should be on that bullshit, bro. Definitely. For sure, man. Man, Gio, definitely appreciate you for pulling up, man. You're always welcome back.
I appreciate you guys.
You watch UFC and shit like that, right?
Yeah. I've been watching. I watched UFC for a while, and I probably watch a lot more than boxing. You know, because there's a lot of fighters out there, and UFC not too many.
Okay. Yeah, so we definitely need to get you back on here so we can talk UFC because this fool, he just like to watch the highlights. He won't sit there. We usually stream the fights together and watch them together, and he refuses to stay on to watch UFC.
Nah, it's cool. It's cool.
No, I've never been a fan of UFC, and don't get me wrong, I don't have anything against UFC fighters. I mean, you got to make a living, but I just feel like it's too brutal for me.
Meanwhile, the boxers are all the ones with the speech impediments. But go ahead.
Boxers are more longevity.
That's
like,
true.
how often do you have a
They got more deaths, too.
That's fighting for 10 years in a sport? Yeah. That's giving UFC 10 years of their fucking life. They don't
sport, bro.
No longevity.
It's a young sport. A lot of people got into it late. Now, when you see in the younger generation now coming up, like the Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier's been around for a long time. You know what I'm saying? He's about to fight his last fight. You know what I'm saying?
How many years? How many years?
Dustin Poirier, it's been about like 15. Has he been about 15 years? 15?
Yeah, I think like 13, 12.
Yeah, about that, yeah.
Deception, like goddamn. I mean,
and then you got to remember these guys fight more than boxers. These boxers, you get lucky if you get 2 fights out of them in a year.
It can cause more. You have more health issues. I'm talking about. You got. I remember just watching this woman. I forgot her name. Kenny, you know exactly who I mean.
Ronda Rousey.
Female, man. She looked like she was in a fucking car accident after the fight was over. Her fucking.
The big
Joanna.
Yes.
Joanna.
Oh God. Yeah. I'm saying. Like, yo, this shit ain't worth it.
Jane.
Worth it.
It's Joanna Jacek. That's what he talks about.
When she fought the champion.
Wally Zhang.
Yeah.
Like that from getting hit too much. To me, the risk is not worth the reward, if you understand what I'm saying. Boxers get paid way more money, and UFC fighters, they don't get paid a lot of money. It's not worth it if you got to pay a couple of thousands to get your fucking face fixed from a fucking fracture, and you're paying your own medical bills and things like that. No,
they got healthcare.
They have healthcare now, but what about the person?
They got some kind of healthcare, some shit. It's not like as perfect as you want it to be, but they got some help. You paying something out of pocket. It's like a copay, I think.
Okay, but my thing is, what about their purses? Like I was, back in the days, I don't know how it is now, but I know back then it was talk about. I don't know how you guys confirm this. You guys watch more UFC than I do. I was told that Dana White gets 50% of their fucking purse. Is this true?
I don't believe that because it's a company. Why would he get 50% of the purse? He's the president of the company. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, he makes money off the event. He don't make money off the fighter's purse. That literally makes no sense. That's like me saying. Go ahead.
Oh, my bad. But what I've heard was about the healthcare. I've heard like Francis Ngannou leaving because they didn't give him healthcare, and a lot of people talk about that the UFC don't give healthcare. They just try to give you more millions. To like let it go. It's like
I know. Well, yeah, that could be it. I could be wrong with my statement. You know what I'm saying? I could have sworn they was trying to do something as far as like healthcare with them. It might be they might do. It might just be something.
Yeah.
I've,
Oh, we
I've
lost him.
Oh, we lost him. But I've heard for years that fighters never had health care, and Francis
Yeah.
Ngannou that was something that he was really big on for fighters. Trying to get fighters, get fighters benefits and stuff like that. And I heard one of the reasons why he don't fight in UFC is because of that.
Yep.
Yeah,
I've heard that as well.
So I respect a fighter that's trying to take a stance on trying to make a way for other fighters, but I
yeah.
just fighters aren't getting paid their worth. I believe Conor McGregor, like he's getting paid millions because of the fight with Floyd Mayweather. It puts him at that
And
pedestal.
we saw Conor McGregor fight like maybe 3 times since after that Mayweather fight.
Yeah.
Right, but
I
he's
think
made
only yeah, three, I think, two.
Yeah, man. Well, after the Mayweather fight, is that when
He
that is that when
fought
he
deep.
beat Eddie Alvarez?
No. That was I think that was after. I think after is when he fought like Dustin Poirier twice, and then the second one he broke his leg.
He
Was
he
the
he
first
fought
or the
Khabib.
third
He
one?
fought Khabib in there somewhere
Yeah.
because Khabib he fought Khabib and he fought Donald Cerrone. I think he fought
Yeah.
Khabib when he came back, lost, fought Donald Cerrone, won, and then he had
Oh
the
yeah.
Dustin Poirier shit. I think that's what it is. You know.
one more before we end the segment. Tank versus Lamont Roach rematch. I heard it's official.
Yeah, August.
That one's gonna be
It's
good.
sometime. That's sometime in August. I got Lamont Roach.
You got
Yeah.
Roach.
Yeah,
Um,
Tank.
I think
I don't think Tank hard in it no more.
I think Tank ain't
Mm,
playing with him. I think Tank coming in to make a statement. He's
Yeah,
been very, very humble. Lamont Roach has been on all different kinds of shows, running his goddamn mouth, talking too much. While Tank
yeah.
has been humble, I believe Tank is he's in the gym working. I believe
So,
he's
yeah.
working.
I
so
also agree with that too. I think Tank might even stop him this fight after fighting
Right,
him once, starting to
right.
get to know him. I don't know.
no,
I
I
think
think
Tank just
no.
underestimated him the first
I
fight
I think
because he had.
first fight everything was too
He didn't.
friendly.
He
Press
didn't
conference,
underestimate him,
but
bro. They know he knows Tank, bro. Like
it was
They've
much
been
too
spar when they
they
were.
came up together, bro. Like he knows
Yeah.
Tank. He didn't
You're
underestimate him.
right.
Tank knew he wasn't going to knock him out. He thought he was going. He told y'all he's going to knock him out, but deep down inside, he knew he wasn't knocking him out.
well.
And
Yeah,
Lamont Roach, I said, look, I said this from the beginning, and you know this, Kiki. I said Lamont Roach, you can just tell, like he's calm, he's not scared. Just in the press conference, he's confident. He believes in himself. I said if he lose this fight, it's going to be because they're going to screw him over. But he wasn't. We was all going to leave out here saying that he won this fight, and we all
I,
did that. Is that a fact or not?
that's a fact. That's an absolute fact.
Okay, I definitely said that.
It was too much respect in the fight. Tank didn't even want to trash talk Roach because his mother was in the crowd at one of the press conferences. It
Yeah, I
was
don't
too
give a fuck about that.
much,
Pacquiao got knocked out in front of his mother. I
but
don't care about all that.
Front
that
row
was
and everything.
different podcasters, and he just talking. Like I believe this fight is personal. And Tank is gonna put a hurting on this dude, man.
Nah, I don't think he's gonna get the finish.
And
I,
Roach
I
this fight, and it might even be a third fight. It might even be, and I believe Tank would love a third fight because it's an easy money grab for him.
Yeah, but Turkey's talking about if Shakira, the winner of Williams Zabata and Shakira, he wants to set up with Tank,
ooh,
Hmm.
that
and he
who
said,
you guys got
and,
on that one?
and apparently if Belanga wins, he's gonna get Canelo again.
You talking about Paul versus Tank?
Yeah, whoever wins, it was Zapata
And
and Shakira might get Tank next. He said he wants to set up Tank, them with Tank next, and then if Berlanga wins, he wants him to set up with Canelo.
Mm. I got. Oh, I'm sorry. I got Shakur.
I
Shakur
got
just
Shakur too.
this fucking that two step all he does is take 2 steps back and throws a fighter off.
yeah,
Like this two, like he has that whole distance thing down pat, where he could just he just makes you fall short with just 2 steps back. But he hit you
Mm-hmm.
though. He hit you. He fucked you up. He could
yeah,
stand
that
right in front of you and hit you and make you pay with counters. But he just has the distance so down pat where he could just take 2 steps back and it'll just throw you off.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's a
I,
fact. That's a
I
fact.
I think Shakur probably the best in that division. But
I
you
agree.
already know how it's gonna go. I think Shakur gonna win by a decision. But Zepeda, he ain't no joke, and this is gonna be the best fighter that Shakur has ever fought in his career by far, by far. And I think Zepeda, if he can apply that pressure like he did on his last fight, but he did look way beatable. I think he could probably stop Shakur as well. Because you already know
Mhm.
Shakur gonna come out there and win them early rounds easy, especially
Yeah.
the
Shakur,
way he be moving.
my opinion, I think I find it hard for anybody to stop Shakur because he could get on
Hmm.
that bicycle at any time. Shakur,
That's a
he's
fact.
punches. I
Yeah.
and
That's definitely a fact.
even know if it was the Oscar Valdez that was on PEDs, the quote unquote the tea he's taking. You know, when he was
This
in every he took.
nigga, this nigga,
You know,
man. Everything, all roads lead back to PEDs.
was,
And,
Santos,
and that,
Santos, right?
Huh?
He fought Santos, right?
Yeah.
yeah,
Edwin Santos, yeah. Had
when
more in
Valdez
that
knocked
fight.
him out.
And he's been in the ring with punchers,
Hmm.
and he just even on a bad night he's winning fights. I mean,
Yeah.
even he says things like his hands was hurting, and he's beating fighters with one fucking hand. When you really think about it, he's beating fighters with one
I,
hand. And
I don't know what he's gonna do about that, but like if he don't get the hand issue under control, it's over.
It's
He's
gonna be
gonna
real
have to fight
tough.
every. It's like you ain't making Mayweather money to be fighting like Mayweather now.
well, let me ask you guys a
Yeah.
question: Who's Zepeda's best opponent? He's fought and won on record and beat on record.
Tevin Farmer's probably gonna be his best one.
No, 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 no. Terry Farmer got robbed. He got
Both of
robbed.
them, both of them, I
Got
guess. But
robbed.
Austin, but
I didn't see the second fight, but I've seen the first fight, and I believe
people
Tevin
felt that
Farmer got robbed.
I saw the second one and people felt that he got robbed in that second one too. But with the fight I was watching, Tevin Farmer was getting hit a lot.
Yeah. The first one I think it could have been a draw or
Mm.
Zepeda losing, but the second one Zepeda, I think he did get that victory.
Yeah,
Mm.
I
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
Saveda in that second one. Even though some people, Tevin Farmer got hit way more in the second one than the first one for
Yeah.
sure.
It's
So,
controversial.
Especially
We'll
early in the
see.
fight.
so you telling me Cepeda, his shots are more effective?
Definitely, yeah,
Mm.
for sure. To me, yeah, for sure.
I think so as
He,
Word,
well.
he lost him.
word, yeah. Well, anyway, y'all make sure y'all like and subscribe as always to the Broken Mute Button Network. You know what I'm saying, on YouTube and Rumble. And as always, follow us on social media and on all our platforms on Instagram, TikTok. We appreciate you for pulling up, Gio, for being a man of your word, because most people be scared to come on podcasts and reach out to people in
Right.
that do these podcasts and they DMs and see what if they respond back. And I appreciate you taking the risk and doing that. And like I said, you always welcome back on the show
No,
for
I
sure.
appreciate you
You know
guys.
what
I
I'm
appreciate
saying?
you guys for sure. Thank
Yo,
you.
thank
I
Yeah,
liked it
yeah,
last time. I couldn't miss out this time for sure. So I had to show up. You
yeah.
know.
yo,
Yeah, and we're definitely we're gonna talk
Yeah,
MMA for
let's do
sure
it.
next
yo,
Let's
time,
do
bro.
it.
Next time you're here.
appreciate you stopping by. You know, your opinion really matters. You know, and facts. We respect opinions and facts on this show. Just let the fans know which part of the town you from, man. Which state you from, brother?
I'm from Vegas, Nevada.
He said
Yeah,
that already,
yeah. I'm
bro.
out here.
And he's from Vegas. He's out there with most of the you know with most of the fights, the big fights
Most of the
at the
fights are.
MGM
Yeah.
Grand. You know, one of
We
my
gotta make it
favorite
to that
fighters
big one.
fought out there, you know, forever. And shout out to you, Gio, for
Mhm.
you know, stopping by the show. We definitely appreciate the love. You know what I'm saying?
No, you already know.
Rep your state, brother. Rep your state.
Yeah, you already know. You already know. Yeah, but I've been watching you guys. You guys just always pop up on my For You page, and I was just listening around, and you guys know what you guys are talking about, and that's what keeps me watching.
Yo,
So
Yeah. Appreciate that.
definitely
Appreciate
I
that.
appreciate those.
appreciate you guys. But
Thank you, bro.
y'all have a good night for sure, because I already know it's getting late out there.
Yo,
Oh yeah,
yo,
it's about to be
it's about
midnight. Yeah.
midnight. Damn near midnight out here, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hell yeah. All right, man. We
Let's
out of
go.
here. I'll
All
at
right,
you.
brother.